207 BC? For 12 years, Hannibal has terrorized Italy. Now his brother Hasdrubal has arrived with the Second Army. Their plan: unite and crush Rome. But this story doesn't end in Carthaginian triumph. It ends in the most catastrophic, the most disastrous defeat in Carthage's history. This is the Battle of the Metaurus. The Second Punic War was a fight for survival between two ancient superpowers: the merchant empire of Carthage and the rising Roman Republic. Carthage was immensely wealthy, a naval power that relied on mercenaries to fight its land battles. Rome, on the other hand, was a military society built on the discipline and loyalty of its citizen army. After Hannibal's legendary crossing of the Alps and his devastating victories at Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and especially Cannae, Rome was on its knees, its legions shattered. Hasdrubal's mission was simple but critical: march from Spain with a fresh army of veteran troops and siege equipment, link up with Hannibal, and deliver the final fatal blow to a reeling Rome. The fate of the Mediterranean hung in the balance. But Hasdrubal's fatal mistakes began almost immediately. He dispatched messengers to inform Hannibal of his location and intended route. These messengers, however, were intercepted by Roman patrols. His entire plan, every detail, was now in the hands of the Roman consul, Gaius Claudius Nero. Recognizing this was the single greatest opportunity of the war, Nero made an audacious, almost reckless decision. Leaving just a small force to keep Hannibal occupied in the south, took his 7,000 best troops on a desperate forced march. They covered hundreds of kilometers in just a matter of days, moving with a speed no one thought possible, and joined his colleague, Consul Marcus Livius Salinator, in the north. When Hasdrubal rode out to scout the Roman camp the next morning, he heard 2 trumpet calls instead of 1. He saw an increased number of soldiers, their armor dirty from a long march. The horrifying truth dawned on him. He was facing not 1, but 2 consular armies. He knew he was trapped. He panicked and ordered a retreat under the cover of darkness. This retreat turned into a complete disaster. During the chaotic night march, Hasdrubal's local guides, who were supposed to lead him to a safe river crossing, betrayed him. They slipped away into the darkness, abandoning the Carthaginian army on the confusing south bank of the swollen Metaurus River. Lost, exhausted, and with morale plummeting, Hasdrubal's nightmare was just beginning. Many of his Gallic mercenaries, seeing the situation as hopeless, broke into the wine supply and drank themselves into a stupor. As dawn broke, it revealed a scene of utter chaos, a disorganized, trapped, and demoralized army. And on the horizon, advancing in perfect order, were the legions of Rome. The Romans had him cornered. The Romans, now superior in numbers, morale, and leadership, wasted no time and attacked. Hasdrubal, a capable general himself, arranged his forces as best he could. He placed his unreliable Gauls on his left flank, protected by a steep, difficult hill. He positioned his best troops, his Spanish veterans, on his right, ready to face the main Roman assault. The battle began, and the Spanish fought with incredible ferocity, pushing back the Roman left wing under Livius. For a moment, it seemed Carthage might still snatch victory. But the key moment, the battle-winning maneuver, came from Claudius Nero. On the Roman right flank, he found his troops unable to engage the Gauls due to the difficult terrain. Instead of waiting uselessly, he made another brilliant, decisive move. He took half of his men, perhaps 3,000 soldiers, and marched them away from the fighting. He moved them behind the Roman lines, completely hidden from Carthaginian view. All the way from the right flank to the extreme left, they then crashed with devastating force into the flank and rear of Hasdrubal's elite Spanish troops, who were already locked in a desperate struggle to their front. The surprise was total. The Spanish attacked from 2 sides, broke, and fled. The Carthaginian line completely collapsed. Seeing that all was lost, that his army was being annihilated, Hasdrubal Barca lived up to his family name. Unwilling to be captured, he spurred his horse and charged headlong into the thickest of the Roman ranks, fighting until he was cut down. It was a warrior's death. But the Romans were not finished. In a final, brutal act of psychological warfare, they found his body, severed his head, and a Roman cavalryman rode south. He galloped all the way to Hannibal's camp and threw the grisly package over the ramparts. When Hannibal's men brought him the head of his brother, he looked upon the face and knew. "I recognize the fortune of Carthage," he reportedly said. The message was clear and horrifying. All hope was lost. Many people believe Hasdrubal lost simply because his guides betrayed him. But this is a common myth. The betrayal was just the final link in a chain of failures. His defeat was caused by a cascade of his own errors, starting long before the battle. His first mistake was insecure communication, allowing his entire strategy to fall into enemy hands. His second was a failure of nerve, panicking and attempting a risky night retreat instead of holding his strong position. Only then, finally, came the betrayal. The Romans didn't win through luck or brute force alone. They won through superior leadership, audacious strategy, and the incredible discipline that allowed Claudius Nero to execute two of the most daring marches in military history. The Battle of the Metaurus was the true, decisive turning point of the Second Punic War. More than Cannae, more than Zama, this was the battle that sealed Carthage's fate. It left Hannibal completely isolated in southern Italy, his dream of reinforcements forever shattered. It allowed Rome to finally go on the offensive, to invade Africa and force Hannibal to abandon Italy to defend his home city. This campaign would end in Carthage's total defeat. The destiny of the ancient world, the rise of the Roman Empire, and the shape of Western civilization for the next 1,000 years were all decided on that riverbank in 207 BC. The Battle of the Metaurus is a powerful lesson in how a chain of seemingly small mistakes in communication, leadership, and logistics can lead to a catastrophe of world-changing proportions. What do you think was Hasdrubal's single greatest error? Is it his intercepted message, his panicked retreat, or something else entirely? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most critical battles, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.